Practice a wrap, and we don't fish Group A. We're Group B this week, so we're gonna go on Saturday. So we get the day off tomorrow. Rig my stuff up. Okeechobee's weird, man. It was. We were here a month ago. Water was about 60. Came back. Water's like 83 degrees now. So it's almost a post-spawn. I hadn't fished Okeechobee a lot when the water was 80-something degrees. So changes things up. I try to cover a lot of water in practice, and got, I would say, majority of my bites flipping a 3/8 stroker crawl out to the outer edges of Tules, kind of out in front of a lot of spawning areas. I did have one flipping area I found today, late in the day, that it's got some blown in hyacinths. There's no eelgrass, super clear, shallow, and you can see bluegill, tilapia, gar, catfish, everything, bass swimming in there. Super shallow, sandy. Hoping it pays off. I'm hoping it even gets a little bit better. We're supposed to get a little bit cooler weather in the tournament, a lot of wind, so the outside Thule deal is going to be tough in a lot of areas. It's blowing out of the north, the east, I think, on my day, so it's going to be tough to fish those areas. I'm hoping that little flipping area gets something going there. I caught some down observation shoal, throwing that Divine swim bait at 4.4 inch. It's a sick little bait, but day one, it's going to be cooler first couple days, and I don't think they're going to be exactly eating that swim bait, but it's going to be tough, but it's just all about decisions in the derby. So take what I know. I fished a lot of areas, a lot of unproductive water, found some areas and get some bites in, and just really make good decisions on where to fish. So tomorrow we'll get to chill out, get our stuff together, and Wiggins will have a shot tomorrow, and then we'll flip-flop. So now it's Friday. My first day is tomorrow. Wiggins just got back. Check it out. And he caught one scoreable, 3 pounds and 2 ounces, I think. Beating Atkins by 1 ounce, 3 pounds and 1 ounce. But the cut weight is right at about 7 pounds. So we need about 2-3 scoreable bass to have a chance to cut. Go down to Harney Pond, put in the morning. I'm sure with a lot of other people. We can put in at any ramp we want to. So that's where I'm going to put in. I got one area, flipping area, but it was really shallow. I mean, I could barely troll in there in practice, and it was calm. So I don't know if there'll be all the water sucked out or what.
This right here is a visual representation of my fishing. Straight garbage coming from the man. Straight garbage.
10 pounds. I need a 6 and 2 2s, and we're eating steak. day. First day, I'm in 26, caught one fish, one scoreable. Fished around. A lot of guys are catching them. Britt Myers and Mark Rose came in behind me and caught two. Just luck has not been on my side. I mean, sometimes it's just a bite. Like, you just gotta get that bite. Like, I had a little swim bait trailer on my chatterbait, and one eats the tail. Just things don't go your way. But I caught one. So I'm only like a pound 12 or something ish out of the cut today. Fish around. A lot of guys that are doing really well in this tournament, I didn't catch any. So I had to go somewhere else to catch one. It's pretty weird, but it's going to blow out of the south tomorrow, but it's going to get up pretty warm, so maybe.
Slide right on in there. Point number 26, Netley.
God. Just wrapping up stage 2, Lake Okeechobee Bass Pro Tour, and did not go my way. It was another brutal tournament. Lost a couple fish, didn't have a lot of opportunities when I thought I would. Choose A or B. I chose A, should have chose B, hindsight's 2020. Water temp was 83 in practice, 58 the first day we went out. Just rough conditions, a lot like you follow. Practice kind of went out the window, and I followed practice. I'll learn sometime in these pre-spawn. spawn events like this, you know, they were in a post spawn, almost summertime pattern, I think, beforehand, and then afterwards, now they're trying to maybe spawn again. We had a new moon, water temps back down in the 60s, so just real challenging from practice to the tournament. Taylor Creek, a lot of guys fished in there, going to do really well in this tournament. I fished in there in practice. Water was nearly 90 degrees and had one bite. 2 days of practice, I spent 2 hours in there and only had one bite. And you know, the water temp changes 15 degrees. You get a new moon, things change, and it's just tough to go back when you fish there in practice and didn't get a bite. I should have known better. Should have probably never even practiced in there. Just gone on a whim. I don't really know. Day one, a lot of guys throwing around Harney Pond, a little bit of hydrilla that's left on the lake, and I was in there in the group. Didn't really have any bites. I was throwing a vibrating jig, had one take the trailer off the back of my little Divine Swimmer, bit the tail off, and then I missed one on a worm. 2 opportunities, what I had in 5 hours, and I missed them both. Then the second day, I fished down a little bit farther south towards Observation Shoal. Figured out a little deal with Devil's Horse, caught 4 non-scoreable, and then had opportunity with a really big fish, and it came off. One thing after another. Tough week for me, but we'll get back after them. Practice though, my first time really throwing the Divine Swimmer, the bigger one. This is the 4-3. This is in baby sungill, and it's got a lot of action. Really out of the package, to be honest with you, it doesn't look like much. It doesn't have this extreme ribs that you're used to on a lot of those swim baits. It has a ton of action. I threw it on the owner beast weighted swim bait hook. This is I think it's a 5/0 1/8 ounce hook, and in practice throw that around, really covering water, trying to figure out areas where there was fish in, and got a lot of bites doing that. Other deal that I thought was really something that if the water temp stayed high was going to be a player. With the conditions, it wasn't. Thought I could play the wind each day and still fish that way on those outside tulies, reeds, but just dirtied up the water. And even when the wind was supposed to blow out of the south, it came too much out of the east, and I just really made my areas unfishable. But I was throwing a 3/8 ounce tungsten weight, the 3/0 jungle flipping hook, and this dude, the Stroker Crawl, and a Bluegrass Magic. I really like this color. We're used these days to a lot of that blue sapphire, and it has a little bit of blue sapphire in it, the flakes, but it has that lighter blue on the backside. It's green pumpkin on the front with the lighter blue color on the backside, and it just really stands out in the water. Blue sapphire is something that we've all thrown a lot in dirty water, Florida lakes, but this lighter blue, they were eating it in practice. I threw it on a lighter weight, fishing those tule lines. You really don't have any kind of cover that you're punching into. It's a lot of open. I did have one rigged up on a 3/4 in case there was blown in stuff, but on 3/8 was my main deal, trying to find any little points, irregularities outside of spawning areas. That's where I fished this bait. But it's a your typical twin tail bait. It's like that in a crawl pattern, and a bigger body. You can get a hook in there really well. The hook penetrates it well, and it's got these little crawls. So it's going to be awesome for a swim jig. You can flip it. You can throw it on a vibrating jig. A lot of different options. I really like that twin tail look, the action that it gives in the water. So check them out if you haven't. That dude is awesome. But that was pretty much 2 baits in practice. Really worked for me. In the tournament, not so much. Switched up some stuff, but it just never happened for me. We're going on to Lake Fork next. Never been there. Going to do as much research as I can and hopefully turn things around there. We're fishing in the meantime, wet a line, and see y'all in Texas.